My name is Dusch. I'm running for PACE president, and in this video, I'm hoping to introduce myself as well as speak to some of the priorities that will hopefully earn your vote when the election is held on Monday, March 14th in your building. I am a teacher, 26 years. I have been at Princeton for 22 of those years. I primarily taught chemistry, but also taught along the way some math, physics, earth science, and physical science. At Princeton, I've been a PACE member for 22 years, been able to serve as building rep at the high school. I've also been the corresponding secretary where I revived a long dormant position and created the PACE Facebook page as well as the PACE members only group. I was also a member of the benefits committee during a time when Princeton was making a shift from external healthcare to self-funded healthcare. I worked with PSSA to help make sure that the high deductible plans and HSA plans, which were at the time new, were understood and equitable for all of our members. I'm also currently a member of the evaluation committee as we work on the shift to OTES 2.0 and try to bring high quality student data accessibility to all of our staff. About a dozen years ago, I became more involved in the union, primarily in the fight against Senate Bill 5, which was at the time trying to take away our collective bargaining rights. And that admittedly scared me and angered me. So I took it upon myself to go to a training at the OEA Blue Ash offices and became the lead PACE member in collecting signatures, as well as hosting a couple of events, one at Glendale, a park in Glendale. I then became one of the 100 statewide signature collectors with the most signatures. That got me noticed and got me a position on the OEA board of directors. Initially, I was appointed to fulfill a term that was expiring as one of the members retired, but then I was elected to my own term, and I ended up serving 6 full years on the OEA board of directors. As such, I was on their Constitution and Bylaws Committee, where I heard election appeals from locals around the state. I was also there when we were shifting the OEA building bylaws and policies to reflect a post-fair share world. I was lucky enough to be one of 3 members of the board of directors chosen to help craft OEA's strategic priorities. I mention this because I'm going to use these as the focus for the rest of this video. Initially, my campaign will focus around these 3 priorities, the first of which OEA's priority is to build local capacity to be more relevant to our members. I want to build PACE to become more relevant to our members. Currently, we fight for a great contract, in fact, one of the best in Southwest Ohio. We advocate with building and district administration for members' rights, but I think that PACE could do a whole lot more than just those things. Through OEA and my time on the board of directors, I saw local associations that advocated for better meals for their students, advocated for moving district policy toward helping their newly arrived immigrant students, districts and locals that lobbied together at the State House for policies that help districts and students through increased funding and through public education friendly legislation. I think PACE can do more toward these things. I want to find out what you have as a priority for you. I don't want to advocate for something that isn't necessarily something that you believe in. So I want to ask all of our members, what is it beyond just a contract that you want PACE to work toward? Do you want to make Princeton education better? If so, how should we do that? Do you need us to send more members to lobby days? If so, what do you want us to lobby for? Do you want us to work with your local community to perhaps support community service, whether that's in the school or in a local community center? What is it beyond a strong contract that you want? As president, I will ask you what you want, and I'll help you to then help PACE make that happen. The second priority of OEA is to leverage the image of educators to build public support for public education. And I know through the years, PACE has had admittedly some fairly congenial and also some fairly contentious contract negotiations with our board. There have been times, and thankfully it hasn't been too many times, when we've needed to turn to our communities, to the parents and families we know through their children, to ask them to support us, whether that's voting for levies to help the district or helping us put pressure on the board during some of our more challenging negotiations. I want to work on building those relationships with the community well in advance of us needing them. I want to see PACE at football games, handing out foam fingers that say PACE supports the Vikings. I want to see PACE represented at our quarterly Princeton business partner breakfasts. I want to have PACE have a booth at Sharon Fest, hand out candy at the Lincoln Heights Day Parade, and to do it all as PACE members, not just as Princeton educators. The third priority is to build OEA as a member resource for professional issues. I want to see PACE become that professional resource, whether that's a new member turning to a PACE representative when they have a question, or whether it's the administration coming to us and saying what is best for our Princeton students and for our community. I want a PACE representative to be the first person everyone turns to in our district when they have a question, whether that's how to be a better classroom leader, a counselor, a nurse, a librarian, a physical therapist, whatever it is. I want them to know that PACE knows how to help them to be better. For this idea, I have two plans. First, at the high school a few years back, maybe about a dozen years ago, one of our principals got rid of our staff handbook. We suffered for a couple of years without that. And I decided to recreate something as a Google document that we now use as our staff handbook. It's something that I've continued to manage with the input of our counselors, our administrators, and a number of our newer teachers, primarily when they come to us, have said that that has become an invaluable resource. I want that to be the sort of thing that we do at each of our buildings as PACE representatives. Admittedly, sometimes that handbook doesn't provide the answers that administration wants us to provide, but it provides the answers that our members need. I think that's something that each of our buildings could be benefited by if a PACE member were to maintain some sort of staff handbook that is useful for their members. Secondly, I want to adopt a program that OEA created a few years ago called a union mentor. Currently, the district assigns a mentor to our new educators to transition to the Princeton way of doing things. I want PACE to assign a mentor to those same new members to help them become better union members. Whether they want to know how do I put in an absent, they can ask absence, they can put in their PACE mentor. Whether they want to know if there are scholarships to help pay for my continuing education, they can ask their PACE mentor. They want to know what the heck SWOEA is or what OEA does for them. The PACE mentor should be able to help them. If they want to question an evaluation, they should have a PACE mentor. They should be able to ask and say, what do I do? What is the process? I will say that I want to lead you as PACE continues to advocate for you, to fight for the best contract in Southwestern Ohio, and to lead PACE and you into the future. Through this, I hope that I can earn your vote on Monday, March 14th for PACE president. If you aren't sure when, where, and how to vote, make sure you talk to your building rep. If you have any questions for me, reach out to me, whether it's through my school email, whether it's through my home email, which by the way is phschemguy@gmail.com, or whether it's through my home phone number, 513-307-2093. Feel free to ask me anything you need. I plan to be there for you for my term. Thank you.